Friday night and an eventful one as we are finally into meaningful sports games once again for us personally. Of course, there's still been NHL and NBA going on. For us, we're happy to have baseball back. Rooting for two undefeated teams here on day 2 of the regular season here in New York. Reese, JD, Len, how you guys doing?
Good, KB. Good. Excited. Happy we got some New York baseball back. New York's 2-0 so far. Looking to keep that going right now, actually.
Yeah, we got the Scherzer debut going on right now with the Mets, so we're watching that. Last night, great outing from McGill in the opener against Washington. Yankees got a walk-off win today against rival Boston. So really good 24 hours after a rough week of DeGrom and everything, and just everything that could have went wrong for the Mets the week before did. But great baseball last night. So, JD, I know we talked a little bit about it this morning off of this, of course. I want to hear your thoughts on just what you loved last night with the Buck Showalter Mets.
Yeah, I mean, going into last night, I obviously high hopes for this year. Cannot wait to watch Scherzer on the mound here right in front of me in a few minutes. The Mets are obviously hitting first. They're the road team. But last night, McGill was awesome. The pitching outside of the Trevor May bomb was awesome. But Bucks Mets, the offense was – I saw clutch hitting. I saw bunting against the shift. I mean, stuff I haven't seen ever as a Mets fan. They do not do that thing. The offense struggled mightily last year, so this was awesome to see. I mean, they were starting innings, 2 outs, and they were scoring runs. Like, that's not something last year's Mets did. So that was awesome to see as Nimmo strikes out here to start us off. That's a great start tonight.
Nimmo's first game of the season right now.
Yeah, Nimmo's first game. But the Mets looked completely different last night. I'm very excited going forward. I'm very excited for tonight. And congratulations to you guys on the Yankees win today.
Thank you. Much needed one to start the season, especially after the Judge situation this morning and the last week. We'll talk about all that after we discuss the games. But last night, takeaways from last night's Mets game, and then we're going to talk a lot more about the Mets than anything else throughout the night as we're watching the game, watching live. So a lot to discuss while we're watching on this terrible Apple TV first broadcast that they have.
Brutal.
This is a disaster for baseball. This is not how you grow the game, in my opinion. But they probably got a nice paycheck from Apple to get this broadcast. Yeah. Not probably. They definitely did. So I would have taken it as well. Last night, my takeaways for the Mets. McGill, it really looked better than I thought he would. I would understand if he looked like that in the heart of the summer.
He came out chucking.
He came out
He's throwing the hardest he's ever thrown in his life.
He looked great. His stuff was all really good. He didn't even give up the runs. So no runs in his first start of the season. A little bit of a weird week for him leading up to it. Never would have thought he'd be the opening day starter, and he ended up being the opening day starter. Loved what I saw. I think the Mets easily have the top 4 in the league when they're all healthy. I mean, unless Bassett was to just absolutely crap out this year and Scherzer is loses a real step, they easily have the top 4 in baseball. And JD, you said it perfectly. The Mets were doing stuff that I've never seen the Mets do, and you really don't see any baseball teams do anymore. Bunting against the shift. I said today, looking at the shift in the Yankees game, I said, I don't think anyone's going to shift against the Mets this year come July, because guys like Robbie Cano, who's done it before in his career when he was in Seattle, bunting against the shift. The next at bat, they're shifted against McNeil, and he's squaring up to bunt. So obviously they're taking advantage right away of the weaknesses of analytics. Loved Buck Showalter baseball last night. I always have. And Mets are going to be really exciting to watch. And the bullpen also looked very good. Granted, I'm not taking anything away. This is just a side comment. The Nationals, aside from Juan Soto, may be the worst team in the entire league come October. But opening day, anyone could play bad, and they looked really good last night. Reese, your thoughts on your Mets?
Yeah, so it was really nice to watch the Mets last night. You saw a lot of things that you haven't seen, and you can rely a lot of that back on the manager side of things. You have a guy who's one of the greatest pitchers in baseball who's supposed to start. He ends up out for 2 months. Then you lose your other starter, who obviously Max is playing today, but you lose another guy who was supposed to start opening day. And then you can just tell by the way Buck has these guys ready that he had McGill out there, and he looked like he should have been throwing opening day. And like JD mentioned, you saw the bunting against the shift and the clutch hits from Marte.
Aggressive on the bases, too. Aggressive on the bases.
Marte stealing first pitch after his first hit of the season. Like, it's just things you don't see from the Mets. which was really refreshing, really nice to see. It makes me even more excited than I was before it. So
Down goes Lindor there. That's a great
Yeah,
start.
he had an RBI last night. Correct me if I'm wrong. He did, right? Fourth at bat. He knocked it around last
he's
night.
1 for 4.
he was over 3 before that.
Mm-hmm.
Any concern with Lindor? I know, like, this is a total overreaction from day one question. Any concern with Lindor going into this season and maybe not living up to that contract? Because I'm going to talk about all of mine with Garrett Cole in a few minutes. So I'm just curious with you guys' concerns, possibly, whether they're rational or not.
If we're just looking at last night, am I concerned? No. Did he look like the Lindor that I wanted him to be? Not in any way. There was a couple throws where he was erring off first base. He didn't look that great swinging the bat, but I expect him to get into the groove of things pretty quickly. I'm not concerned with that. I think if he's able to get in the swing of things, he's going to be able to be the Lindor he's always been. But obviously, it's a concern as the Mets. It seems like everyone takes a step down when they come here. So I'm waiting for him to take that step up that he hasn't yet.
Yeah, I wasn't concerned going into this year, so I'm not going to panic yet because it's only game 2. I'm going to obviously give him like a few weeks before I really get nervous. But the worries, like deep down, like inside of me, like it's there. Like if you're not like a little bit worried at this point, then I don't know. Like you must be like a real diehard Lindor fan if you're not. But deep down, it's there. Although I still trust that he's going to figure it out at some point. That was that looked like an at bat he had from last year. We just watched there in the first inning.
So we talked Mets just now. We already discussed we're really not going to talk a ton of Mets last night. We'll talk about them all night throughout this game. It'll interrupt every topic we have when stuff happens in these games. It would be a good experience for you if you're watching this to turn on the Mets game as well, so you know what we're talking about when we cut out and you're not just, blindly sitting here listening to us. Lenny, Yankees pick up a win in extras today, 6-5. Donaldson, welcome to the Bronx. Bringer of Rain walks it off in the 11th with a single up the middle. IKF, welcome to the Bronx. Ghost Runner scored after having a terrible day at the plate, but found his way across for the game-winning run. Cole, rough first inning, found his stuff for the following 3, had a good 4 innings at the end of the day based on how bad it could have gotten. Your thoughts on the Yankees, and we'll talk about Judge in a little bit. So just for today's game alone and the way that the roster played, thoughts?
Oh, I really like what I saw today. I think they definitely did what you didn't like, more of what you didn't see last year. They hit in the clutch, I think, for the most part, and they hit more for the defense. I mean, the defense was really good. I mean, Anthony Rizzo is making plays left and right. Falefa's making even Donaldson. So it's great to see the defense and what's the word for the clutch hitting. I would say it was really cool to see. I even was shocked kind of that I thought they were going to go Torres over DJ, and they ended up going to DJ. So it was weird to see that for the first time. Usually Torres is always
worked out though.
Yeah,
obviously DJ tied it up.
And I think Torres at bat didn't start off well, but that 0-2 to just flick it out there and get a run in was really huge, and I think huge for him too. So we'll see if he's in the lineup tomorrow.
Yeah, DJ played good today, dude, because even the line drive with runners on, with first and second, the line drive to left that Verdugo
made that slide,
made a great play on, was ripped at Verdugo. He made a fantastic play. If he missed it, 2-run score, LeMahieu's got a triple. And if he plays it short and decides, let me just cut my losses, 1-run scores, hit a home run today, LeMahieu, a Yankee Stadium special. We love to see it. That means baseball's back. Stanton watching it today.
You can tell good Donaldson still got it too.
And he brings the juice too. He brings the juice that the Yankees haven't had.
He was fired up.
Honestly, one guy I've always looked back to for this Yankees team was Todd Frazier. What has this team been missing since 2017? Todd Frazier and also Didi brought a lot to the clubhouse. But Todd Frazier, if you remember, got traded to the Yankees at the deadline with David Robertson and Tommy Kahnle in what was a great move for the Yankees. And he started that thumbs down thing with that weird game against the Marlins at Citi Field, where that Mets fan was in the crowd, and he sparked a real energy with a young group that seemed to have carried them through to the American League Championship Series, even though he was probably the worst player on the team. So I feel like Donaldson starts to fill that role a little bit more. Do I love him hitting leadoff? Not totally. I'd rather see LeMahieu or Rizzo there and Donaldson in the heart of the order. But how about my guy Rizzo, dude? Who is Freddie
Rizzo's
Freeman?
great.
This is my first baseman.
He's great at 1B, man. He
This
is
is my
awesome
first
at first
baseman.
base.
He's
But-
just rock solid. His defense is seriously incredible. Watching
Yankees
him.
hitting's going to have their ups and downs because of the inconsistencies of a lot of players. I think I watched the best defensive team in baseball today with every position. I feel comfortable with the fielder there. The least comfortable I feel with any fielder is Hicks out in center, and I don't think Hicks is going to make an error, really. It just doesn't. So I love every single guy they have on defense. Added a lot from last season. JD Reese, you guys have any thoughts on the Yankees, positive or negative from today? And then after your comments, or you can lead us into Garrett Cole conversation.
I thought after the first couple innings, the Yankees really started to settle in. You can't, obviously, it's a 162 game season. You can't judge anybody off even the first game. Never mind the first couple.
Scherzer, dude.
I have
Great
no
first
idea.
inning.
Wait to go watch.
Damn, Scherzer's the
great first
man.
inning.
He's on the wrong team. He's the man. Come on.
But yeah, you honestly pretty much said everything positive I was going to say about the Yanks. The only thing I'm worried about is the bottom of that lineup and their ability
Yes.
to hit.
Yes.
That's the only thing I really took away. But it's game 1 of 162. I don't want to say I'm worried about it yet, but it does seem like it could be a problem in the future for you guys.
Yeah,
Just a comment on that quick. Sorry, JD.
No, you're
IKF
good, you're
doesn't
good.
concern me a ton because we know he's the contact hitter that's going to give you 8 or 9 homers, but he hit 100 for 170 hits last year with Texas, so he doesn't worry me a ton. But Gallo, Hicks, Higashioka, and then if IKF doesn't work out here and never gets settled in, that's a terrible bottom half. Gallo sucks, and I just cannot watch this guy play baseball.
What did he K? How many? I
I think he struck out at least
so
3 times.
I
He struck out 3 times and he hit the ground out, which was actually huge at bat, not the strikeout. But
Yeah.
this is what we get in Joey Gallo. This is Joey Gallo.
Yeah.
He won't be
Yeah,
any better than this.
I
Sadly.
turned on the game today and I saw Devers hit that pitch missile. I was like, holy
Oh, yeah.
hell.
Yeah, that was rough.
I was like, what a start. And then Rizzo, then bottom half, I was like, oh, let's slug. And then after that,
Yeah.
it kind of died down
Yeah, it
a
really
good
did.
bit. I will not lie. After DJ hit that tying home run, I had to pack it in for a nap and recharge for Mad Max and GBU. So
Fair
I didn't
enough.
see.
Fair
I did
enough.
not see the extras with the ghost runner and all that, but I obviously watched the highlights at the end. I saw Donaldson's walk off, and the Yanks are 1-0 along with the Mets. So let's keep
Yes.
it going, fellas.
So I may have hit a Cole overreaction today to some when I was texting Lenny, but I'm really concerned with this guy because I understand it's opening day, but it just felt like another day after the spider tack incident of really bad start, sliders not breaking, fastball. If they're catching up to it, which Boston hits fastballs, that top of the order hits fastballs better than anyone. If that fastball is not beating them, then you got a real problem when that slider's not breaking for Cole. And man, we saw it today in the first inning. How many games can we have Cole start that happen like this? I'm not saying it's going to happen every day because we know that there's a possibility that his next 2 starts, he goes out and gives you 6 at 1 run or no runs. But
yeah.
this bullpen gets taxed every year. And with guys like Nestor Cortez starting, Severino, Tyone, and Montgomery, those are all guys I don't trust to make it past the 5th. So where is the Yankees guy that I trust now to go in and give me 6 or 7 really hard-fought innings? They don't have it. And we're paying Garrett Cole $36 million a year? $35 million a year to make
36.
me nervous every time he throws that fastball at the letters now?
KB question. Sorry to interrupt, but how
No,
many pitches did he leave with today? Because
Let me check.
because
He left early,
68.
right?
he
I feel like
did-
he was out pretty early.
He was out. He was
68.
out, but maybe like mid-June and July, he might settle down and give you innings there. Like
Yeah,
I
I
know
agree.
it's not something you can count on. That's what you're arguing.
And then my fear for that is there's no doubt in my mind, Cole, if he pitched 6 innings every day, regardless of the runs, regardless of how many hits he gives up, if he pitched 6 innings every single time he pitched, he'd be at 80 to 90 pitches. He'd be in good shape pitch count wise every time. Just because of how he attacks batters. He doesn't dance around batters ever and just never a walk fest with Cole. But in a meaningful game against Boston mid to late summer, when we need innings from him, you go down 3-0 before you get an out. You might get pulled in that late August game because they might just see, man, they're watching replays in the dugout and that slider's flat at 84 miles an hour, getting ripped down the line every time. You might not be trying to, give him any leeway when that's the situation and you're trying to fight for a division or the 6th playoff seed, the way that this division is.
Yeah, and you mentioned it before, how important every game is being in the AL East. So you need those Garrett Cole wins.
Yeah. That's why today.
What does he got? Baltimore next? What do you guys got next after Boston?
Next
Toronto.
is
Toronto.
for 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
a
going to be
shame.
another game.
So, I mean, the guy's
that's a
ERA
tough
is going to
7
be a
games,
7 by the
games.
time we get going to Baltimore, and because we're going to get lit up in Toronto. Even if we could win all 4 games, you're just
You
gonna get
guys
lit
in
up
Toronto or at home?
I think so.
No, Yankee Stadium
Like,
for
'cause-
4.
Yankee
Wonderful.
Stadium.
Okay.
When are we going to find out? When do you guys go to
Then to
Toronto first?
Baltimore.
Yeah, we're gonna find
So
out who's vaxxed.
interesting thing to monitor with the
Who's on
Toronto
vax.
situation that I didn't realize is the Raptors are going to get the 6th seed and play home games in the playoffs.
Yeah. And
It's
they
serious
don't
issue.
care.
I think it'll end up changing before that.
If they
I really
end up,
do.
or they're going to get the 5 seed, if they ended up playing in the 7 seed, they'd probably play the Nets in the play-in, and Kyrie wouldn't be able to play. So I'm interested to see if the Nets have the Raptors have a severe case of an opposing player doesn't get to play in the playoffs, and
I think they
really
might.
gets the MLB to start working towards we have to get this lifted
Yeah.
before guys are missing games in Toronto this postseason.
Because right now,
Toronto's going to be in the playoffs.
they're
It's just not
lined up.
good. It's just not good.
They're lined up to face Philly right now, and Philly has declined to say who is vaccinated, who's
Yeah.
unvaccinated, which makes you think that there might be a few guys missing from that first playoff series, which is unfortunate. But I was going to bring that up today, and that's like if they're not changing it for basketball, I know it's farther down the road baseball, but it's not a guarantee that they're going to change it for baseball either.
Yeah,
'Cause
I mean,
it
if they're not
really-
changing it for the NBA, why would they do it?
It
for the
gives
MLB?
it really gives. I mean, baseball's it should be different because it's outside. The rule sucks either way, whether it's basketball, baseball. But at least baseball, you can reason like, oh, it's outdoors, and then I don't know if their roof is closed. I mean, I guess it's indoors, but I don't know. It's a long time away.
Or a new pair of pants. My
They're
God.
tight. They're tight, aren't they?
They're
He can't
Robbie
even
Ray
run
type.
in those.
Do we even
That's
have a
Robbie
hit?
Ray's pants, dude.
Nah, Josiah Gray is making quick work of us here.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Oh God.
I mean, what about the
that
Nats
ball's
drilling?
gone if he's got an XL on.
What about the Nats
I like-
drilling us 3 times up high last night, or 2 times?
Yeah.
Up high last
Oh
night.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Pete
That was a
took
Pete.
beating
Pete's was
last
rough.
night, dude.
Yeah.
Pete got beat up. Play at the plate. There he is. Yeah, I mean, he just got drilled. Right
They were
there.
not
Yeah.
helping him in the field either. He was Lindor and
No, he
Escobar
was-
were
Lindor
spiking
looked-
every other
yeah.
throw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was not a pretty scene in the field last night.
I
I
like
love Robbie,
I
though.
like the Nats catcher. What is it, Rios or whatever?
Kyler
Ruiz.
Who
Ruiz.
they got?
Ruiz,
yeah.
I like him.
They got him
very-
in the
he looks
Dodgers
good
trade,
back
right?
there. He's blocking balls. He had a sick throw on Marte.
He can
And
hit.
then
He's a slugger.
he had some power a little bit yesterday.
He's the next
Wasn't
Max.
he
He's
the,
the
wasn't he
next
the next
Miller.
best
completely-
prospect after
Yeah.
Gray in the Dodgers trade?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
those
the
are the two best
He was
he was
completely
the guy.
extended. He was completely extended and took McGill almost out on one ball
So-
Yeah, I mean,
yesterday.
JD and Reese, thoughts on McNeil getting a bit of a backseat to Cano? It seems like early it's possible that he gets the backseat to Cano in this lineup.
I think it's going to be Dom instead of McNeil because
Yeah.
McNeil played left yesterday. So,
Yeah.
like, it seems for some reason they don't want to throw Dom in the lineup. And I like Cano. Obviously, I think Dom should be in, but I don't have an issue with Cano DHing like a lot of people say. I think McNeil and Robbie are going to play a good chunk of the games together, to be honest.
Yeah, I trust Buck. I think
Yeah.
he knows more than I would ever. Who's better to put in, Cano or Dom, especially since they're both power hitting lefties. Cano's proven it more, so I mean you could say he deserves a spot over him, but I would like to get Dom Smith implemented in some way.
Yeah, it makes a world of difference this year with Buck because like last year,
Rojas, I didn't trust
every
one
time
move.
Rojas made a lineup, the world was on fire. And for some reason,
Yeah.
Mets fans still complain, but like I shared the same perspective, Reese. If Buck thinks it's gonna work, then I'm on board
Yeah,
because
hands-
obviously I'd like to see
all hands
Dom.
on.
He had a great spring, but and then down goes Robbie. So I mean, we're
Jeez.
I mean, someone's got to tell
Come on.
Isles fans that idea of trusting the Hall of Fame coach because
Yeah.
obviously Wallstrom sucks. Not to get off topic here with the Isles. Obviously, this guy sucks. He doesn't play on the first line ever. Why do you think we have a Hall of Fame
There's a
coach?
reason.
Do you think he has no idea what he's
Yeah.
doing? Come on, so stupid. I mean, Josiah Gray looks great. He looks great.
Yeah.
We might
Well,
have
this
a nice.
is-
We might have a
this is
nice
so
rubber
hard.
match here.
I don't even know.
He
Perfect
throws
games through
98,
1.5.
yeah.
Perfect games through 1.5. So
I'm
perfect game watch.
I think Scherzer's gonna make quick work of this bottom half of this lineup.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's bad.
I don't
Josiah Gray
think
is
the bottom
officially
half
on
will get a
perfect game watch after getting the first 6 outs. Scherzer's on his way to it. Needs 3 more. Man.
So who do we got? Who do we got tomorrow for the Yanks? We got Severino
Tomorrow,
versus
Severino versus.
Good game. Or a good,
I
good
think
matchup.
it's Hauk.
Is it
Or I don't know
Hauk
how to say his
or
name.
Yeah,
It's
it's
Hauk
Hauk.
No,
or
Pavetta. We got
Pavetta.
Pavetta tomorrow.
I was going to say
Pavetta?
Pavetta.
Hauk, Montgomery. Oh. Sunday
Yeah,
Night
Sunday Night
Baseball. A treat
Baseball.
for the nation. Hauk versus Montgomery. Wow.
I saw
I'd say-
today. You go,
I'd
big
say
one.
one thing about Boston: their pitching is very bad. After
Their
Evaldi,
bullpen sucks.
and even
too.
their
Aside from
their
what's his
bullpen
name?
is brutal.
What's his name?
The
pitched
kid today, Whitlock.
Whitlock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Whitlock's
Yeah,
very
he was a
good.
Yankee, wasn't he? Though
But-
I thought.
Yeah, he was a Rule 5 pick. They snagged him from us.
Brutal.
So, but
I
their
loved-
pitching is brutal.
I loved how on
You go,
the Yes Network, like when they were doing the pitching scouting report, and they were like Evaldi like throws gas, blah blah blah, and he was like Yankee killer. I was like dying.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
He
that's
is.
just something. That's just something we would say. Like that's
Yeah.
something we would
He
throw
is,
up on
man.
there.
Rizzo
he-
today, though.
They hit him today.
broke the
so-
curse. Broke the curse, Rizzo.
Yeah.
That was a bomb.
Evaldi, a free
Thoughts on-
agent too after the year.
Thoughts on Judge before we forget. My personal thoughts is still the Yankees still are obviously the favorite for him to be back with in an extension. It's going to come after the season now, though. That's pretty clear from Judge's press conference today. And kind of what I was saying a week ago, I think the smart move for Judge, I said it after the Ketel Marte extension. You guys know that I said it, that I think Judge could go to the open market and get 300. And clearly, whether he gets it or not, he has the same mindset that the 7 for 213 offered today, which is really like 8 for 230 something with arbitration with the number they were giving him there, is not nearly what he'll get on the open market. He wants that 9th year. He's 30. He's a 30-year-old. They're giving a contract to. So thoughts for first JD and Reese, and then Lenny, we'll let you say your piece at the end because yours will probably be the longest on what it means for the Yankees to lose Judge, possible options, or if you just don't think there's a chance they lose him still.
I mean, I think he's still a Yankee, but this was kind of like, so we were going back and forth on this for like weeks. Like this is obviously one of the biggest topics for us for baseball. It was like, would he stay cheaper than he maybe could on the open market to go to the Yankees? That was the question. Some of us were saying, go test the open market. You go use the Mets. You go use whatever other team you got to use, even if it's not the Mets, to drive up the Yankees offer. And I still think the Yankees will give him that 9th year at whatever, 288. I think you said KB 300, somewhere around there when it's all said and done. So obviously he's got to stay healthy this year. He'll probably stay healthy and perform knowing it's a contract year because that's what everybody does. When the money's on the line. So he'll probably have a great year for you guys, which is good if you want to look at it that way. Still think he's a Yankee when it's all said and done, but it's going to be very fascinating after this year, depending what happens in season with the Yankees, however good they do. When Aaron Judge becomes a free agent, it's going to be one of the biggest topics in sports.
Yeah. I kind of have the same thought process, JD. I believe he's still a Yankee. I do believe asking for 10 years and 300 is a lot when you're 30 years old already, which is clearly what the Yankees are having problems with, as well as I think the rest of the teams that he tests out in free agency will have. I think he's a Yankee. I don't think any other team. I think the Yankees know what he's going to get offered or somewhat of the ballpark of what he's going to get offered, and they gave what they thought was the fair price for him. And I think it's a pretty fair price for him too. But I also think it's a good choice for him to go test out free agency because if someone is giving you more money and a longer-term contract, there's no reason not to take it. Even though the Yankees are his organization, I believe he should be a Yankee for life, but that's not up to them anymore.
Before we continue, before Big Len goes here, Scherzer's kind of getting hit around here in the second inning. My blood is boiling right now watching this and listening to these two stupid announcers. I just can't.
First and second, first and third.
First and third, nobody out. He hit the
I'm
first.
almost gonna dip out.
He hit the first batter and then gave up a base hit.
Perfect game watch is out for Scherzer now too.
Yeah.
Lenny, thoughts on Judge?
All right, so yeah, I really woke up this morning and I kind of thought it was gonna get done. I really thought like if it would be a George move, George would have had him coming out, number 99, new 8-year extension, team captain, Aaron Judge to find out right as he was coming out. But that didn't happen. I really thought their deal was really a solid deal, and I know a lot of people seeing around the league think that that was a really fair deal, and really shocked he did not take that. I know Judge he views himself as probably the best player in the game. I mean, I know he's definitely top 5 for me, but he's also 31 and or going to be 30, and he'll be 31 when he's a free agent. But he's played 2 full seasons in 5 years, and hasn't been able to play back-to-back full seasons. So he's taking a huge gamble with because I don't, if he gets hurt and only plays like 20 games, I don't know if he's getting 30 a year from anyone.
Mhm.
Definitely not from the Yankees. But
Yeah,
I think if he does go out, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
No, I was saying no. You can continue. I'll wrap it up after you're done.
I think that if he does go out there and perform at an MVP or wins the MVP and we go far, I think that he will probably go out and teams will probably give him like the 10 years or whatever team to just be throwing the money. They just need to sell tickets or whatever. I don't know if the Yankees would go 10 or 9 years. They'd probably go 8, maybe 9 with an option.
If someone gives him a 10th year, that's where it gets dicey.
Yeah, that's where you get worried.
Yeah, I don't. That's where I'll get worried. But I don't know if they'll do that when he's going to be 31. And I know he'll be healthy, but they already have Cole and Stanton on those deals, and they're also going to be in their mid-30s. So I don't know if they'll do it. I think he will be a Yank at the end of the day if he does perform, but he very well could go elsewhere.
Yeah, something I've been thinking about all day with this is if Cashman knew that Judge would turn down 7 for $215, 31 a year, how would he have approached free agency after the lockout? Would Correa be our shortstop? Where would that 31 million, or really that extra 17 million that he thought he may not have had this year, would have been allocated? So now I start to think, if Judge if I'm the Yankees, I'm kind of starting to harass the agent a little bit for extension talks during the season.
You probably get frustrated too if you're Cashman right now.
Yeah, and I
think that's why he leaked it. I think he was pissed.
Yeah, if you don't get Judge to bite and negotiate during the season, I'm getting aggressive to find my future replacement for Aaron Judge, because I don't want to make the same mistake that I made in free agency thinking he'd take that contract, but then he walks for more than I'm willing to pay him.
Do what the Braves did.
So I'm doing what the Braves did, and it starts with Juan Soto. It does. I know it's a pipe dream for anyone. One team gets to have Soto.
Yeah.
23-year-old phenom. It never happens that a guy like this is close to being available. He turned down big money from the Nationals. I offer him 13 or 14 at $500 million.
I would too.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
You get him at the deadline while the Nationals are in dead last in the National League.
Have the farm to do it.
You run with Judge, Stanton, and Soto in your outfield. You kick Gallo to the curb in any way you can.
That outfield would be...
Unfortunately for Judge, you're playing right next to your replacement for the rest of the season. But fortunately for Brian Cashman, he probably keeps his job because he's not lacking his superstar outfielder, and he actually found one of the 2 or 3 outfielders in the league that's an upgrade over Aaron Judge. That's where my mind would go as a GM. And you got to be a little pissed off right now if you're Cashman and Steinbrenner at Judge, regardless.
It was a fair offer.
Yeah, it was. A fair offer. I thought it was going to be less.
Fair offer, and for it to seemingly get up to the point right before opening day that this offer was declined, only a couple hours before the game, it seemed like this offer was firmly declined and there would be no negotiations into the season. I'd be pretty pissed off right now. I really would be. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees went uber aggressive for the first time since George was alive, because Soto is a much bigger move as far as actually going through the process to get him and the commitment to him than Stanton or Cole have been. Any of the big contracts since George is alive, this would be the biggest one since the Steinbrenners owned the team. This would be the biggest move.
Yeah.
So I think the Yankees could really unleash something dangerous. Could have been sparked by Aaron Judge in declining a pretty fair offer from the team. With that being said, if I were him, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, we talked about how we would, with the way baseball is now, like
it's a business. You got to do what the smart move is.
Unless he is
get your money.
Unless he plays like I don't know, 50, 60 games this year. I think
Yeah.
he's going to get pretty much from somebody, at least if it's not the Yankees, what he was offered today, minimum. I think someone will give him 7 years. Obviously, the Yankees would, so he's going to try to go get 9, 10. I don't think it's a bad move. You bet on yourself, you have a good season, you're going to secure that extra year, maybe a 10th year, another 50, 60 million total. I mean, we see a lot of the guys get locked up early now, and that's what teams are trying to do to get them on good contracts. Obviously, the Braves, they got to steal with Acuna, Albies. We don't know how good Brian Hayes will be, but we just saw the Pirates lock him up, and if he's a stud, then it's a steal of a contract. Judge is 30. It seems like he's looking to break the bank here. Will it be with the Yankees? I don't know, but they have that luxury that the Mets don't have. If they want to go get Soto, the Nationals will probably trade him there in the American League. They'll not trade him to the Mets. We'll see what Washington does. I don't think they're going to move him this year. Maybe next year. He's got 3 years of control left, so it's going to get interesting for the Yankees after this season. But they've got a good roster this year, so they're going to try to win the World Series with Judge, and then we'll see what happens.
Also, I just want to talk about his injury thing for a second, because that's a point that a lot of people bring up as to why he shouldn't get paid. This is Judge's games played since 2017, which was his first full season. So 2017, he played 155 games in the regular season. So full season, no injuries. 2018, hurt a lot, but played 112 games. Still had 67 RBIs, 115 hits, 77 runs scored, 413 at-bats still. So that's a pretty healthy year. 102 in 2019, so it dipped there. Still 378 at-bats, but you want a lot more. So that's the first year of actual significant injury that I see with Judge. 2020, injured season, 60-game season, but he only played 28. Last year, full healthy season. I don't think the injuries are a huge concern for Judge and his team of agents. And now, for a team to take the risk on him, most of his seasons he's played 100 games plus. So,
and now KB, you have the luxury of the DH in the NL. If he DHs in 5 years, every team's going to have one. So it's not like NL teams are going to be shy away from giving him that ninth year. I think he's going to speak to everyone he can to try to drive that price up to the Yankees. I want to go to this comment here for a second. If the Yankees re-sign Judge, where does Soto land? I don't think he's going to stay because I do not know how likely the Nationals are to pay him, as we see Canna get gunned by Josh Bell there heading to second base.
Dude, I'm like a pitch related.
Come on, man.
Where does he go?
I think
Obviously,
he goes to the most money. I really do.
You got to look at the teams who are going to give out the money, the highest payrolls. You got like the Dodgers, you have the Mets, you have the Yankees, you have the Padres, like teams like that. Whoever's going to shell out $500 million because
he has his World Series. That's a great throw to get Canna. Man,
it was right on the money. It's like that's like a perfect throw in MLB right there, right on the bag.
But
right
Soto already has the World Series.
Yeah, he's 23. He's got the World Series.
Go get your money. You have a rare opportunity to get the biggest contract in the history of a sport. And
he's in a dream scenario.
It's a sport that has no payroll, no cap. Only how much does a team want to pay you?
It would be foolish of him not to do what Aaron Judge is doing and hit the open market. Like, even if you get traded and say, like, I don't know, I'm just throwing the big teams out there, the Padres, whatever, the Dodgers and the Mets, and he's not getting traded to the Mets. But if you get paid by one of those teams before you hit free agency, fine, you're probably going to get a lot close to what you'll get on the open market. But the Nationals, I don't think, are going to give him what he'll get if he starts talking to the Mets and the Yankees and, the big market teams. He's going to try to break the bank. He's with Boris. I mean, I don't know if he'll play out his days in Washington as it gets closer to him hitting the open market. You got to think the Nationals are going to move him because you can't lose him for nothing. That would be
Washington's smart. You move him at this deadline.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to contend for another 3 years. That's when he's going to be due to leave. I know they want him. Oh, McNeil, get out. Gone. McNeil, baby. McNeil,
Let's
baby.
Let's go, Jeff.
Tied up.
Let's go. Beautiful.
And was Canna safe?
I don't know. I didn't
see the
get a
play.
good look at the replay.
I just saw the replay there. It looks like Canna. I mean, it looks like Alcides Escobar tagged the base. And
Speaking
got his foot at the end.
of Met killer, Alcides Escobar.
Alcides
man.
Escobar.
Holy fuck.
Ever since that World Series.
Guy just comes and shits on us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a
dude,
sick
great.
throw.
Dude, Pete,
Going the other way.
gotta do your base running in
Gotta
practice,
move.
man. My
Yeah.
God.
Dude, that stumble
Fine.
lasted like 30 seconds, and it was
Dude,
one
when that was
stride.
gapped, I was like, there's no way he's getting gunned. And I see him start tripping around the base. I was like, oh,
Nah.
fuck. I was like, oh, my God. He is getting hosed here.
Terrible.
It's like a
What are these?
stumble
The
recovery
Apple
all the way to
TV
home plate.
stats on the bottom right corner. Thomas Nito reach base probability 39%. I mean, that's
Doing.
unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean,
Now it's
I mean,
There's
it's
no his
more than
on
that.
base percentage.
he throws
Yeah,
throws one ball and it's 60%. Like, how are we coming up with these numbers here?
What? Come on.
all right, fellas. I think I'm gonna go watch this Mets game. I'm starting to get antsy.
All right, Reese. Great to see
Reese.
you.
All
tonight.
right, good
I'll
show.
see you
Have a
out
good
there
one,
soon.
fellas.
See ya.
Yes.
All right, Reese is now gone. Let's get our usual. No, that's not it.
That's not it.
Oh, is this
Oh,
it? This is-
hey,
there we
there
go.
we go.
Hey, look at that background. We're back. Nito, JD, Nito, or McCann? Who do we like?
I like Nito, but I don't hate McCann as a lot
Yeah.
as much as
Good tandem.
others.
Good tandem.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
a bad tandem.
I think they'll
I think
rotate.
Nito hit real well in spring, so I'd like to see if he can continue that.
Yeah,
in the
he
regular
was definitely
season,
the better
but
hitter last year too.
There's a role over there. If he had any sort of athletic prowess, maybe he would have beat that out. But
Man, what I would do to get Juan Soto? Oh,
that is going to be a big topic in New York baseball.
the thing that
New York
sucks about
sports.
Judge is he holds that leadership position.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
he obviously
I
you go big
I
on.
think if I'm the Yankee, as a Yankee fan, I'd obviously rather have Soto than Judge. He's younger. He's probably a better player, but I think Judge means too much to our team. I think letting him go and adding Soto, I don't think it would sit well with many fans at first, and I just don't think it. Even with the locker room, I don't think it would sit
Nimmo,
well at all.
nice base knock there
I
by
think
Nimmo.
I think losing Judge would really change the narrative around people think about the Yankees. I don't think they'd be the Yankees anymore then.
Unless they go get Soto.
Guy, yeah.
Unless
But
they
I
go
think
get Soto.
this is letting your modern day Derek Jeter go.
It's not
Because
though.
you don't
It's
wanna
just
give him-
not.
It is
It's,
though. You're
I'm
giving.
sorry, it's not.
this is-
Jeter had
this is
3
the
World
guy-
Series by the time
I
his
know-
contract. He had
World
4.
Series, but
Jeter
this
had
is our
4
guy.
titles
He
by the
makes
time his
money.
contract was up.
People come to watch him. I just think losing him.
Yeah,
would
you know what the
be-
great
I
thing
mean, I
about
just
Jeter
don't-
is? No one bought a ticket to see Jeter hit a single. But the Yankees won
Yeah.
every year with Jeter and kept the seats filled because they won games. I like Judge. My thing with Judge, I love Judge so much. I hope he's back. But, man, he hasn't won anything. They haven't been to a World Series yet. He hasn't done anything to keep them out of it, but he hasn't necessarily done anything to put them in it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, his,
like
his postseason's not great. He's an
his
okay
postseason's,
performer in
but
the
I actually
postseason.
like judging them. I think he does show up in the postseason. He always has big home runs in the early rounds, but like when the game matters most, he's not even the guy I want up on our team.
Who would
Yeah,
that guy be?
Stanton
Stan?
I
showed
think
me repeatedly.
I think it's Stanton. Sad. I don't know what, but
Stanton has
it's
and I was
Stanton.
Stanton's biggest critic his first 2 years here. He could have done something right, and I'd be like, all right, well, he struck out 5 times yesterday. I did not care if Stanton did anything good. He showed us. He's proven to us that games on the line, he's at the plate. That's my guy. That's who I want. But man, it's tough. It's my thoughts are tough with Judge because I didn't think, Len, you knew I was very confident in them getting a deal done. I'm not panicking that there's not one done, but I didn't even think I'd have to have this conversation today. I really didn't.
For some reason last night it just felt, I don't know. It felt like not the time. Like I always thought it could get done before opening day, but it really felt like what we were saying was coming true, and he's gonna like test the open market to see if he can get that extra year. And it's all about whether another team will give it to him. I still think the Yankees would go to 9 years, but if he were like, he's gonna talk to all 30 teams after the season. Like who realistically will dish out that? Like obviously everyone's gonna say the Mets, but I don't see the Mets doing that, and I don't see him going to the Mets either.
Yeah, I think if he were to go anywhere, I think it would be California. Like you said, the Mets, they're gonna have to pay. I know Steve has unlimited budget, but they're gonna also have to give DeGrom like 30 plus, probably almost 40 a year. because he's probably going to want more than Cole, who gets 36.
And we got to extend
But
him.
then there's another
we'll
guy he's another guy that you could make the argument either way, keeping him or not. And he's very important to the team, clubhouse, culture. He's the franchise guy. No doubt about it. Best pitcher in the league when he's healthy. Depending on how this rehab goes and his recovery, Nielsen said the Giants, my two teams for Judge in this offseason are the Giants and the Mariners as a wild card. Mariners have not been shy to pay up players that they really like.
Mm-hmm.
The Mariners do have a mystery outfield too, so
exactly. They have good prospects in the outfield.
But it's Aaron Judge.
My wild card for.
But there's always like a mystery team. You don't know what the Padres. They've been rumored to want to like trade away Manny and get somebody else. I don't know if they don't like Manny anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's just rumors.
Let's go get Manny. Let's get rid of Judge and let's get Soto. Now we got Manny and Soto.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking about a team here. I think this Yankees team could win the World Series, though. And not even just what I saw today. I love what they did this offseason. Pitching's such a concern. I'm so frightened about this pitching staff.
Yeah, I think
they'll improve though at the deadline. They'll improve at the deadline. They'll get an arm at the deadline.
Yeah, I don't know who it'll be because I know Bieber would be the guy, but
guys always become available.
They might extend Bieber. Yeah, but I think any of the teams. I don't think the Dodgers. Now I'm thinking about. There's always like a mystery team, maybe like the White Sox or somebody in like the Central Division.
All the teams who have like the big payrolls, like those teams are.
Yeah, don't pay anyone right now, and they're just going to pay Judge to come in and sell them tickets.
Yeah.
Like maybe if Minnesota loses him, they bring him in. But I think if he were to leave, I think he would go to like. I think his team is the Giants. I'm pretty sure he's a Giants fan growing up. So, and the Giants could pay him, but they're also very smart. They're not. I don't know if they'd be a team just to hand him out there to sell tickets.
Yeah,
I mean, Giants you never know. Now
really, they have
a payroll.
They pay him a reasonable deal.
They have a payroll right now of $125 million. If any aggressive team could afford it, it's definitely them.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, obviously, I don't think he's a Met. It's going to be a team that always comes up in the conversation, obviously, because of Steve. They're going to be in on everybody.
The Red Sox.
Obviously,
the team to bring it up.
If we have a shot at Juan Soto, obviously, I prefer Soto in 3 years. But 3 years is a long time away, so we'll see what they do this offseason. But the argument towards like waiting is because you still got Scherzer on the books, you still got Cano on the books. 2 or 3 years. That like I know money doesn't really matter to Steve, but they're still not going to go. I don't think they're ever going to go over $300 million at any point. So like if he gets that extra money, like he's going to go out and pay Soto or whoever's a free agent at that time. So that's my like. Obviously, a lot of Mets fans are looking at Soto in the future. I hope it's a realistic possibility. But the Yankees have the luxury of trading for him before he could even hit the open market, as do probably most of the AL teams, even maybe another NL team outside of the NL East.
So I saw one comment that says, is there a possibility like we got Judge and Soto? I mean, you definitely could if you were to trade for Soto now and you have him for next year. You'd have him for the 2 years, and then in the 2 years you move Stanton and try to extend Soto, but I don't think that would happen. But that would be sweet if they could do that.
Did D Gordon just go deep? Oh my God, it's foul. Scherzer's getting tagged here a bit. He's getting tagged here. Yeah, he's strange. It says Strange Gordon.
Yeah, what's up with him changing his last name? Strange Gordon.
Yeah, he changed it.
He changed it. It was
had it for a couple
there
years.
was a reason. I forget what it was, but there was a reason why he did. Look at they're showing they're showing the Nats flower blossom blooming jerseys. A lot of people.
I don't know.
They're not. I think they might be wearing it.
God.
We play them 2 more times, so I don't know if they're wearing it this weekend. But
are they wearing those shit white hat like their Orioles type hats? I hate those things.
With the multicolored hats.
Yeah.
Or, like it's it's white in the front.
The white in the front, the red.
Oh, those
back.
Yeah,
I don't know why they got rid of like just the classic all red with the W. I don't know.
They did it like after the World Series. It was like
they
down. I mean,
like a
Strange Gordon. Just sit down, pal. I mean, you can't hit with a last name like that, my guy.
I'm pretty sure it's the longest last name now in MLB history.
The thing is because he's so small and like he's not as thick as some MLB players. So like
Yeah.
He doesn't have the luxury of a
It
huge
wraps around
jersey to
his
spread
whole
that out.
jersey. It wraps around the
Yeah,
whole.
yeah,
My
it's
God.
it's bad.
There's just where someone's normal name is, it's just the hyphen. And then on the sides of the number, it says Strange on the left and Gordon on the right going vertically.
It's so bizarre.
There's people wearing the cherry blossom jerseys at the game. Come on. Who would buy that? Who would buy
Yeah, it
that?
was in honor of somebody I saw.
Well, and then that's like the iconic thing there, which was a cool idea. The cherry blossoms in Washington, D.C. I understand where they're going, but come on. That's in honor of someone. That's such a slap in the face.
No, the Strange Gordon.
Okay.
Strange Gordon.
But I don't know what whatever the hell you want to call it. They're Nike City jerseys. Like that is a bizarre design. I never thought the Nets would do that, but it's odd. I am excited to see what else they do. What else Nike does this year because there's a
Yankees
lineup
ever
of
gonna get one of these.
there's a lineup of teams. I don't know if you guys seen it. I'll try to see.
I thought like the Nationals would do something with like maybe like the White House, like the Giants have the bridge, like maybe they put like the White House, like what are the beans?
Yeah, the cherry blossoms are like a C tier signature of Washington D.C. You could have went with anything else.
I got the I got the other teams.
Commander, you could have done a Commander's third uni. Wentz.
So we got the Nationals.
The first pitch they Wentz. Threw it into the seats.
Wentz. It was Haskins.
Intercepted.
So we got the Nationals are first. This isn't in order. It's just I got the teams here. We got for the jerseys. The Nationals are getting a new one. The Rockies, the Astros, the Royals, Angels, Brewers, and Padres are all getting new jerseys.
The
Brewers are getting one. Yeah, the Padres, the Angels.
Padres always have a great.
Too bad the Angels.
How about
I would.
You Doctor.
Too bad. I saw it was just off topic, but the Angels were brutal last night. Otani was great on the mound.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
How about Matty? Did you see the clip of Matt Vasgersian going nuts?
Sent that. Yeah.
Going nuts for a pop-up.
He's like, Otani.
He goes, Otani.
Dude, every time Otani hits anything, Vasgersian goes nuts.
He was like, Otani.
Then you got
it was just shy.
You got the Padres bullpen implosion yesterday, like last year.
They got Taylor Rogers.
Whatever beer on National Beer Day, walk-off home run.
Oh yeah, dude, that trade for the Twins sucked. That was a bad trade.
Taylor Rogers is good. Taylor Rogers.
Everyone wanted Paddock. I don't know why.
The Padres just make deals just to make they just enjoy making trades. Like they're always in the trade market.
It's like
for
the Mets
everybody.
Wanted Paddock. The Twins want, like the Yankees wanted Paddock.
Teams like see something in Paddock. The Padres don't. The Padres don't even need him. They don't even real need good.
Him,
he looks like he was going to be the next great thing. Their pitching development is obviously just like ours because they trade for all these guys and their pitchers are so average. Soto, that is.
And they have like I don't know where Mackenzie Gore, like he's the one of the top prospects, and he just has been sitting in the minors. He's not. I don't even think he's in the, I don't even know if he's on the roster.
Speaking of top prospects, how about Bobby Witt? I saw Spencer Torkelson make a nice play. All these guys, I love to see all the young guys.
Good young crop coming into the league right now.
Yeah, we got 1, 2, and 3 made the roster. Julio Rodriguez.
Rodriguez played today. He didn't do any. I don't think he got it.
Who did the Mariners play?
They beat the Twins today. Gary almost went yard in the 8th inning to give them the lead, and he thought he bat flipped and it went to the wall.
I didn't see how that
you gotta get used to that. You got to get used to that big wall left. Or
I mean, Target Field is probably miserable to hit home runs at because it's 25 degrees.
Full on
it's
bat
huge.
flip, and it went to the track.
Yeah, I mean,
Gio went yard today in his first debut.
Awesome.
Minnesota, and then we saw the Tigers had Baez had that bizarre
that
walk
was
off.
Odd, yeah.
But it just looks so miserable. Too. Like, why are these teams getting the first series in April? Like, it was freezing in Detroit. Like, it looks so miserable there. Yeah. Like, I cannot imagine.
The domes have to be utilized. The Seattle-Minnesota series should be in Seattle. Get that roof closed.
Detroit, beautiful park. Probably miserable in April because you're playing in 25, 30 degrees. It's 450.
Remember last year when it was snowing for one of their games?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it does. It probably will.
Snow.
It probably will at some point.
How did Correa went 1 for 4.
But it was a good day. Like a lot of walk-offs, like electric baseball.
Yeah.
Like we are bad.
Yankees had a rare, really tight first game of the season. Usually that does not
We usually
happen.
lose those games. We usually lose those games too.
I was
Yeah.
hoping
Usually
for
never
right
win
after that
those
Rizzo
games.
bomb. I was hoping both teams would just trade bombs, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was still a good game. I fell asleep, but I was wiped. And the Yes Network doesn't help me very much when I'm trying to stay awake during
miss
the
Paul
games. I'm
O'Neill.
spoiled. I'm spoiled on SNY. I
miss
don't
Paul
think
O'Neill.
Michael K is terrible, but
The Yankees
not a
broadcast would
fan.
be
Yeah,
great if
I
Ryan
like
Ruocco
Cone.
replaced Michael K.
Yeah, Ruocco brings more energy.
I saw
like our
Sterling.
color guys
I
a
saw the
lot.
video.
They didn't have their third guy today. I don't know. Usually they have three. Today it was I thought they'd have Maben or I think Neil I guess is still doing it, but he hasn't done anything in a while.
I love how Beltran, like Cashman, craps on that Houston team all the time, and he's now working for us.
Let's just go back to Beltran. Like, where did he get that information? Like, what is he saying live on air about a judge extension? Like,
dude. And then Boone goes to the press conference after he's like, "Oh, he's working on some great things behind the scenes."
That's when I was like, "Oh,
that's when I thought
dumb.
I thought it was like even today, like even when Passan tweeted out it wasn't happening, Boone they asked him what is Brian going to talk about, and he's like, I don't know what he's going to talk about. I honestly have no clue. Well, I was like,
Boone has
somebody
no
told him
idea what's going on.
Yeah, he had no idea. Somebody told him like Brian's going to have a press conference, which wasn't his scheduled, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know what he's talking about. I have no idea." So I was like, maybe they changed. Maybe they did actually scrap it down and get something done, but
why is my Apple TV keep crashing?
So here's an interesting.
What is going on?
I don't even have it up right now.
I'm going into the game.
I got it up, but I was 1 pitch behind 30 minutes ago. Now I'm about 11 pitches behind.
What is going on? It's not my Wi-Fi.
That's so bad. You probably got to
here.
turn like your alerts off and everything.
So here's an interesting scenario from it's either Tiki and Tierney or Carton and Rob this week. That who would be the Yankees manager next year if they fired Boone and Cashman, or if they just fired Boone? And whoever it was said, "Well, I think that they already brought in their next manager, putting Beltran up in the booth to get to know him for the year."
Maybe.
Oh, God.
How much of a turn of events would that be? Did my Apple TV just crash?
Well, now I have no Wi-Fi, but I'm in.
This would be classic if all like the Peacock,
did Apple TV
Amazon
just
Prime,
crash?
all this just doesn't work. That would be. You guys want to talk about that? The early games. I know me, Kev. We're already going. We put the tickets in for.
I saw that 11:30 start against Detroit first week of June. We're locked in the bleachers.
I knew that's like a KB senior perfect game.
Oh, it is. He won't go to anything
early
else.
and leave late. It's perfect. You get home at like 3, 4 o'clock. Go right to bed.
Any idea who's tagging along with us? Big Blue.
I think Big Blue is gonna come, and then I think he might just get another 2 extra tickets.
Oh, yeah, let me know if you want me to get 2 extra. Well, in the bleachers, so you just get them anywhere,
Yeah. How about Pajot, little 1-zip aisles?
Pajot picked a great time to show up, man.
He's showing up now, and
he's gonna finish with 35 goals in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Apple TV sucks. I can't watch the game.
I think I'm back.
It's just like AppleTV.com, and the game's just like sitting there, and you have to like make an account or anything.
You gotta sign in though. JD,
you gotta sign into your.
It's not just us. My dad just texted me. He goes, "What the fuck is going on?"
That's so.
Do we like where we're going with streaming services here?
No. I mean, I don't. No. Obviously, I have the
I
technological.
think we don't. We don't hate it. But like,
I hate that it is harder to access because it's not good for baseball. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I think for baseball,
very easy to watch.
Yeah, like
Lindor's
I don't know
base.
if anyone's gonna go on like, even if they eventually make you pay for these things. Like, I don't know if people are gonna go in and pay to watch baseball.
Well, they're gonna pay. They're gonna make you pay for Apple TV, right?
They're gonna
This is just the first. This is just for the first. No, I think this is just for the first.
Oh, they're gonna
first
make you
few
pay?
games. Then you got to pay for it to watch.
Kev, do we play on Apple TV? I know we play on a bunch of Amazon Prime. I don't know if we play
Peacock. We play Peacock once. I don't know about
Peacock,
you guys.
Maybe
the 11:30 games. I like the 11:30 games because I get to wake up on a Sunday morning and watch baseball. I wake up.
Yeah,
the only thing that sucks is if you lose a big one at 11:30, because then you're sitting there from 4 to the time you go to sleep, dwelling on it.
I hate waiting for Sunday Night Baseball though on Sundays because you
it's
get all
the
the other
worst.
teams,
This
all
Sunday
the other
sucks.
teams
I hate
enjoying
it.
their 1:00 games. I could be, and then you have to wait for Vescursion. No more A-Rod anymore. Do
Usually
we know
Sunday
who's in
Night
the booth?
Baseball's. It's David Cohn's in there. David Cohn and I think is it Eduardo Perez? I don't know who the head person is.
Yeah,
So
I
those are
think
the
it's Eduardo
analysts.
Perez.
Any
Eduardo
chance?
Perez
Play-by-play
and
guy.
Cohn.
Any
It's the
chance
guy- it's-
ESPN gives Joe Buck a few baseball games this year? Not
I think
Sunday
they
night
should
because
if they
that's
wanna try to get
Vescursion's. That's
the playoffs.
Vescursion's thing. But
I don't think
Joe
he's
Buck-
doing Sunday night this year, Vescursion. I don't think he's
Glenn,
on.
we
at all.
got a nice
Really?
haul of Apple TV games, man. We got 3 or 4.
We do.
Yeah, we
you do
got
have
April 29th.
April 29th.
April 29th.
No, that's against who we playing there. I think it's Kansas City.
Kansas City. The following week,
Yeah.
we have. Or no. The June 3rd, so Tigers, that's the first game of the series we're going to, is Apple TV.
I mean, this is the worst. I mean, what a criminal act to not have Gary, Keith, and Ron doing Scherzer's first game.
Let me look at who is the new ESPN. I don't think it's Matty V. I think that's all gone. I'm pretty sure it's Cohn, Perez, and somebody else. And I believe they have like instead of the Manning cast for football, it's the K Rod with
Come on, get us Joe Buck on Sunday night. He's not doing football anymore on Sundays.
Yeah,
not that I'm the biggest Joe Buck baseball guy, but I still think he's better than most of the announcers.
Yeah. Let me look. Sunday Night Baseball. Also, I just want to say off topic, I had a revelation about the draft.
Really?
And something that I've disagreed with. I actually gave Big Len a outdoor voice shout about it last week, opposing his point.
Yeah.
Dude, Sauce Jet at 4. He's such a Jet.
Yeah, I think if the
you've seen it.
Yeah.
I saw I saw Stingley visited both the Jets and Giants today.
But I actually did.
Today.
So I've been reading a lot of this week that the Jets at 4, if it's not Hutchinson or Thibs, it's best player available on defense, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also read from Brian Costello, who does Newsday for the Jets or the Post, one of them, one of the papers KB Scenes comes home with every day, that that Sauce, there's a very good chance, according to according to a source that he has, that Sauce is the number 1 player on their draft board. If they had the first pick and position didn't matter, he would be their first pick.
I like Sauce. Wow. I do. I know. Like
me and Lenny feel the same way. Corners round 2 position.
We've clashed about whether the Jets. We've clashed about whether the Jets need corner, but I personally think they do, especially with Tyreek in the division. I don't hate that pick at 4, but I know a lot of people obviously want edge. Or I mean, your guys' interior O-line's pretty good, right? If your center is if you have a shot at Linderbaum in the second round,
at least for now.
Tackle, KB, you think they still chance they take a tackle?
No, I think for me personally, I mean, you have 2 good tackles going into the year. Health's a question mark for Becton. Fans probably gone after next year. But why so many holes? Like, why pick up a player for next year in the draft? If you want to, go second or third round for a tackle that you like. Mm-hmm. Just I don't. They have 2 good tackles right now. You have a premium third and 3 premium picks in the 4th round. They have 3 top 17 picks in the 4th round. Take a tackle there, sit them for a year. I mean, you see it firsthand, JD. The Packers develop linemen that no one's ever heard of into all pros. Yeah. Draft a guy to sit for a year, and then
they don't take. They don't take They're like they need a tackle, but they're not taking one in. They're going to find a guy in the 2nd, 3rd round, and he's going to probably be a stud. Just because that's how their O-line works.
I'd like to rely on the coaching staff for the offensive line from now on, because we already have your two cornerstones are Tomlinson now in free agency and Vera Tucker. Let's forget
love the guard combo.
Yeah, let's forget the O-line now.
I still think the O-line, the tackles, you have your 2 starting tackles, they're question marks, but I love the interior O-line now. But I do.
Tackles for this year, that like week 1, you should have a very good offensive line going into it. Week 2 could look totally different and be a disaster. But it's time to trust the coaching staff with some development for once.
Escobar down the line, baby. There we go.
If he gets going, man, he's such a good signing. He's great. He looked great in the field last night too.
Just Escobar? Wait, who'd you say?
Escobar, yeah.
Yeah. I really like him. I really do.
Get bigger pants. He's just
he's like Robbie Ray out there. They're trying to.
Yeah, come on. Do I like Trayvon Walker? Nielsen asked. Walker's tough because he's a project. I'm so tired of projects. You know, him and Johnson are projects with so much talent. And
it's
Walker feels a little bit like Cleveland Farrell to me. Like he's on a loaded defensive line. I think he's the second best player on it behind Davis. Loaded front seven. I don't know. Walker's tough. I wouldn't risk him. I don't want the Jets to take the risk on him. But he's athletically, I mean, he's just a...
It's almost like it's gotten annoying, like, now how so our mock draft from a few weeks ago, I had Walker going too. And now...
First to do it.
I'm not saying, like, only we can do it, but it seems like now, like, I just think that the Walker mocks where he goes to Jacksonville is just, like, I don't so like... It's so... I'm not saying like I still think he could be one of the top edges in the class, obviously, but I think it's just the amount his stock has skyrocketed is absurd. Like everybody thinks he's going top 5 now, and I think like obviously it's realistic, but
I think the earliest he gets picked is Giants at 7.
A few weeks ago, he was a bottom top 10 pick, but Robbie foul. Damn it.
I also don't know if he's the best fit for the Giants, Walker. I feel like we kind of already have what he is. I think we really need like a guy that's going to line up, stand up on the outside.
Either New York team, unless he fell to 10 and the Jets didn't go edge at 4, then there's a real conversation for it.
I think he gets taken Atlanta 8. I think I like Atlanta.
Yeah, I
really do.
I think Thibodeau. I honestly think Thibodeau.
If he falls that far.
I just feel like he's a fit for Houston, Thibodeau. I feel like
I think he's there in Detroit.
Like, he recruited him originally. I just feel like it kind of fits with him in Houston.
Detroit had the worst pass rush in the NFL last year. They're not going anywhere else with this pick unless they love Willis, which doesn't sound like they do. Because the smoke around that rumor kind of died out pretty quick.
Georgia
players for the Giants. It's fair. It's been I'm tired of Alabama playing
a bunch of
Jets. Quinnen's just gold standard of Alabama Jets, and he's been underwhelming.
What a big one.
So, do you guys think that Carolina would pass on a quarterback because I think Neil or Kwanu might be at 5 and 6.
I think both are going to be there.
Yeah. So
Robbie 2 RBI. Sorry to interrupt. Robbie 2 RBI base hit.
Sorry to interrupt. Who's Dom Smith?
Big Lenny was on the Robbie train.
No. Big Lenny's Robbie's biggest supporter out of any of us. Yeah. I don't hate Robbie as much as a lot of Mets fans do. I like Dom Smith more, but I
think they're both the same player, honestly.
I do like Robbie, and I do understand the hate from Mets fans, but I'm not one of the people on Twitter who are dying on Dom Smith's hill over Robinson Cano.
Soto's got to stop sliding for those balls, dude. We need you at the deadline, man. You got to stay on your feet. Things changed today, Soto. Things changed. And
what did you originally say, Big Len? What did you say before?
I was saying, do you think? Because I think Aquanu or Neal are going to be there for the Giants and Carolina, and I could see Carolina passing on one of these quarterbacks to take O-line because right now they have no O-line.
I think they're just desperate to get rid of Darnold. Like they don't want Darnold starting.
It's such an interesting question because if I was Matt Rule, my bet to save my job for 1 year is honestly that Darnold is going to get a full season of McCaffrey, and I'm going to have a better offensive line in front of him, and we're going to make the 6 or 7 seed because the NFC sucks. Just because you've already worked with Darnold for a year, you kind of know what you're getting. You can work on the strengths and weaknesses, although he sucks. But if you could make the playoffs this year as a 6 or 7, get your ass kicked in, but they keep you around, then you have a chance to say, all right, Darnold was the problem. Let's get a quarterback type of thing. But I don't know. I think you got to take one.
We got some news from Big Rod just texted me. The Blue Jays are currently getting shit on. It's 6-0 Rangers in the second inning.
Really? How about those with that Rangers in middle infield? I wonder if they did anything big.
Let's see.
Great piece hitting. Robbie gets it. Yeah, Robbie gets it. Robbie goes opposite field. He bunts against the shift. He goes right through the shift. I love Robbie. I feel like Robbie when Robbie's at the dish, I think you feel better about him than a lot of the other Mets players on
Robbie's
this team.
just got such a nice swing, man.
He does, yeah.
Buck said it perfectly. I think Buck said something along the lines of like, someone asked him, "Do you think after like a year off and everything, do you think Robbie Cano can still hit?" And he said, "I think Robbie Cano is a guy that can hit until the day he dies." Like something along those lines. He said, and it's just so true. He's just got the best swing, man.
I want to go back. We're bouncing around between baseball and NFL here, but that's fine. Big Lynn, while you pull up what's going on in
I
Toronto.
got it up. Yeah, I got.
What's
So I
going
got
on
it
in
6-0. They have a couple. So what story?
How about the Rangers players getting vaxxed for this? They all did.
Yeah,
they all got
worth
vaxxed.
Worth it. 6-0 right now.
Yeah, Seager's 2 for 2. Miller's 1 for 2. Simeon's 0 for 1, but a score a run. Mitch Garver homered in his Rangers debut.
Rangers' downfall is their pitching. They have no pitching.
Yeah, they need Leiter to be a real superstar.
Who's pitching?
Which is possible. Is he going to be up this May, Leiter?
I think
get
he
him
should
up
be.
quick.
I think if he dominates, he will. Yeah,
they spent the money to win now. No point in sitting around waiting.
I'm not. Barrios didn't even get an out.
Oh,
he got one. Barrios got 1 out. He got 1 out.
Jeez.
4 runs,
I didn't
3
think
hits,
Cole was going to get an out.
4 earned, 2 walks.
Jeez. So I was gonna say, I wanted to bounce back to the NFL draft quick, even though we were talking mostly baseball. We haven't mentioned we haven't done a lot of NFL stuff since the Saints made their trade. So do we think KB and Big Len, they're gonna trade up, they're gonna stay and maybe take Ritter or Pickett, whoever's there, and then go get someone else? Or you think they package these picks and move on up with the Jets or the Giants? Like, would you guys move down with the Saints?
That's tough. Because how desperate are the Saints for a quarterback?
I think they like Ritter, and now they're over the Steelers.
Yeah.
I don't know if he goes above. I don't think he goes above them.
All right, one sec. Who's Sports GP? Is this Big T? Who is this?
I was thinking it's Big T.
Who's in this in the comments? Because they get it. That's definitely like a Big T.
Could be a random
Big
from
T.
Twitter.
Big T calls me FaceTime during the Yankee game. He's loving his Yankees.
That was a great story. That was a great story. That's all. Big T on the call.
So I just looked up to the ESPN. We're about to remember, but it's Carl Revich. Is there play-by-play?
Yeah, I just have no idea.
So it's him, Perez, and David.
Didn't he do the Cubs? No, he did the Cubs. Who did he do?
I think he's always been there.
The show and the new show announcers.
Sunday Night Baseball's radio.
Yeah, the new show announcers are the radio guys, right?
Oh, that is. Then I got no idea who's doing this game.
I believe.
No.
Yeah, the guys.
He's talking MLB. He's talking MLB The Show, KB.
I know.
Those are the radio guys for Sunday night, aren't they?
Yeah, because that's who I thought was doing Sunday Night Baseball now. But who the hell is doing Sunday Night Baseball now? Who's that guy?
I have no idea. I've probably heard him, but what is his name? Joe Davis, the Dodgers guy, is the new Fox lead guy. I thought they might give that. I thought they might have given that to Burkhardt too, because Burkhardt's the lead football guy, but he's good baseball.
Awesome, man.
I love
Claps
Burkhardt.
for Burkhardt going from
SNY alum. SNY alum.
Burkhardt was. I mean, how long ago was it that Burkhardt's in the Citi Field bleachers doing interviews? 9 years ago. Now he's Fox. Headliner at Fox. Great job.
SNY hidden development. Hidden talent.
SNY, man. Hidden development, dude. I mean, this is great for the program at SNY.
They have Gelbs.
Well, I hope it's not Olsen, Greg Olsen. I'm not a big fan of Greg Olsen, to be honest. I think it's going to be him, but I think we need somebody different.
I'm telling you, this will be John Lynch. I think he's out after the draft.
John Lynch, if he leaves San Fran, he's gonna be in the booth again. But I don't know. Like, is that something you've seen, or do you just think that?
I've seen that Fox wants him.
I'm sure they do. He wasn't bad when he was there.
Like any conflict, it would be John Lynch. But I've felt that way ever since Adam Peters didn't get a job as a GM.
Yeah, he might be staying there.
Like he was way too good of a candidate not to get hired. And that I thought he was the best out of everyone, and right above Shane. And I just had this feeling since I could be totally wrong. I probably will be. Lynch is probably going to stick around. But I have a feeling that maybe instead of Lynch saying, hey, I'm not going to be here after the draft, in their inner circle, they might be like, hey, Peters is getting the job here. And because there were rumors about Lynch stepping up to the president role and Peters becoming the general manager because Lynch wanted a step back. Is that a base hit?
Neato. Come on, Robbie. Man. Get in there. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, good throw. Good shot.
That was a
shot. Who threw it? Who threw him out?
Gordon.
In
center field.
Strange Gordon.
Oh, he's playing center. Jesus.
Yeah, why is he playing center? I thought he was a lefty in the field.
Damn. Neato.
I like Robles. Neato. What a bust. Robles had a sick rookie year.
I knew it, though, dude. When I got his Future Stars card in MLB The Show in like 2018, I knew it. That card sucked. I mean,
that was a hose from center field.
That's a great throw. Strange Gordon. Those hats suck.
But the Mets are aggressive on the base paths. Like they're running.
I like to see, man.
I like it. I really do.
It goes back to the old. He's got to make the fielder make the play to get you out. And if he does, you're going to be out. But more times than not, the throw is going to be off to the right.
It needed a perfect. I'm not saying it didn't need a perfect throw because Robbie was out by a foot or two, but any throw like up the line or anything by a career second baseman out there in center field is a run. So I don't hate the decision to send in there, but he did have the top of the order coming up, which sucks after Neato. So it does suck, but I don't mind the send. I didn't obviously the Pete send last night. If he doesn't almost fucking fall on his ass, he's in there. But I think I love when Marte got on base yesterday. First pitch, he's gone. Like I want to see a lot of Marte running this year. Even Janikowski, our bench guy, in games late, he'll run too. He's a good base stealer. Yeah. So a lot of the new look Mets. I really. Jesus, last night was such a stress-free win that usually does not happen for the Mets, and it was a nice change.
Stop. Big Blue's on a call.
Big T, we should have skipped today. It's opening day. You didn't even bother asking Shaw?
Oh, Big T.
He only skips for Saints games.
That was Tierney. Tierney said the other day, he's like, I always skipped opening day. He's like,
Evan
that
always
was a national holiday. Evan's got the scorecard.
Evan's that guy. Evan's that guy at the game. The scorecard, doing the book.
At least he's not Carton, though.
Yeah.
Craig picks a different team every year.
Good for Evan, man. Enjoying his team right now.
Yeah.
We all know how that feels. Good for him.
Yeah.
Craig cursed us, dude. We're not going to have Judge next year. We sucked last year. He cursed us.
I don't even know what I would do if they didn't get Judge. Oh, God.
So, to move off the Judge thing for Big Letty's mental health, quick topic switch to something I wanted to talk about 5 minutes ago. We'll talk about Judge again, though. The Kobe Dean. What the? Did you guys see the rumor I sent in, man, about him in the second round?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I have seen that pick up some steam, dude. I don't know if that's smoke, but my God, if that guy's in the second round and the Jets get him.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will just go nuts.
I find that, obviously, you always have those guys that fall. And a lot of the time on draft night, it's someone you don't expect. But it could be him. There's always a guy or two who'll fall to the second round.
Linderbaum could be. I can't imagine he would, but God, I would love him in the second round if the Giants had a pick. Even the Jets.
He doesn't get past the Jags. Round 2, pick 1.
True, yeah, the Jags. What's his name retired, right? Their center retired.
Yeah, Linder.
I know. Isn't JC Treader still a free agent? Like he hasn't gotten anything. And he's pretty solid.
He's on the back end of his career though, but he's a serviceable center. He is.
Yeah.
He would have been an upgrade for the Jets.
He'll go to a Super Bowl team for $1 million, being all pro.
Exactly. Mute this. So if you look at the draft order, outside of the top 15 for Dean, let's say, because you get to Philadelphia at 15, totally a team that could use a linebacker. The linebackers always suck. Mm-hmm. That's where I've had him going for the whole.
Yeah, we had that our last one, right?
Devin Lloyd also. Don't know if you guys have seen his age yet. come to my attention. By week 1, he's 24 years old.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I've started seeing more like 8. Like I saw whatever Raymond.
I think he's gonna. He might drop out of the
25.
first.
Those you get over 23 years old, and you get
Yeah.
a chance of dropping just because of that.
There's some teams who don't like the Packers are not picking. They never do. They're not picking someone who's over 23 years old. It's not going to happen. So like that rule, like Raymond is a nice tackle and will be nice for us at right tackle, but they're not picking him. Like just I don't know who else is over around 24, 25, but Josh Bell.
Jeez,
that
is
missed.
Gone.
I knew. Yeah,
What's the
I
score?
knew.
What's the score?
3-3 now. We got a good one here. Friday Night Baseball.
I had a feeling that at bat. I didn't feel good about it at all. I really didn't.
JD, how about for the Packers? Nakobe Dean make the fiercest linebacker duo in the entire
I still
league?
think they're gonna go defense.
Yeah,
I
think they go defense wide receiver.
I think
Treylon Burks is just a Packer.
Yeah, I hope. They got to take a wide receiver in round 1, but I think like D line or if Dean is there, it's a play. JD, which receivers do you like for the Packers? Yeah, KB just said I love Burks. I like Olave, but I think Pickens is a Packer. I really do. I think they really like him. I like Pickens too. He blocks.
He really could be the most talented guy if he didn't have injuries in college.
He would have, him or I like Williams too, but it's at least Pickens has the size, whereas Williams does not.
Yeah.
So
Williams scares me with the ACL injury. Just as a Jets fan, over the last 5 years, most injured team in the league. That's why Drake London concerns me too, because he broke his ankle. He had to postpone his pro day because he's not ready yet.
I like
because we just know if the Jets or Giants drafted Williams or they just suck. They'd be injured all the time. But if they go to like Kansas City, Green Bay, Bills, they'd be healthy every day. I mean,
unfortunately,
I didn't tell him
the Packers don't have the luxury of taking Williams and waiting a year for him to turn it on because they need guys now. I obviously like Williams, and if he's a Packer, I'll be excited. But I think Burks, Pickens, like Christian Watson in the second round, I'd like if he's there.
What about Sky Moore? Or is he? Is Sky Moore a second round pick, KB?
I like Sky Moore a lot. He's worth a second round pick because he is. If you want to find Tyreek Hill in this draft, it's him. Small, undersized, but like if you watch him, he reminds you of Tyreek Hill because he's the smallest guy in the field and he goes up for jump balls and makes plays. And when the ball's in his hand, he's just insane. He's a guy that if the Jets wanted to just double up on defense in the first round, that's a guy that him and Dotson, I would not be upset with in round 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
How about Debo? What do we think of this Debo stuff the last 24 hours? I don't want to. I don't know like that. I get too wrapped up in guys deleting their Instagram stuff, but
I don't think he's leaving San Fran. But
I think it's a scam.
It's a conversation topic.
Yeah,
I definitely think it's a negotiation tactic.
I think San Fran will lock him up.
Is he worth $30 million a year?
For them, I think for them it is.
Yeah, I think so. I saw today that he wants to be the highest non-quarterback average annual salary. That's a lot. And
so, JD, you might disagree with me here, and Len, you probably will also. I think out of Devontae, Tyreek Hill, I think Metcalf's still going to get moved. You can't convince me otherwise.
I said the same thing today. We'll see.
I think Debo's the most valuable out of all of those guys to his team that he'd be leaving. So Devontae to the Packers, Chiefs to Hill, because Debo had 2,000 yards. If you gave him 300 carries, he's a top 5 running back.
Yeah, he's
a top 5 receiver. I just feel the way Shanahan uses him, which only a few other systems in the league could use him that way, and still you're not Shanahan unless it's McVay. The way that they use him is just he's so valuable. He's so valuable.
Yeah.
He's worth all the money in my opinion. But for a team like the Jets, like it's tough because we had the 32nd ranked defense in the league. Do I want to be giving $30 million to a wide receiver right now? That's where I contradict myself.
It's tough because the wide receiver market is exploding. It is exploding.
But then the cap explodes by the time these guys get paid.
Yeah.
So it's impossible to decide whether or not I'm pleased with the possibility of the Jets getting one of these guys.
Xavier Howard has also ruined the cornerback.
Oh God,
Yeah.
that is so annoying. I thought
He
J.C.
has-
Jackson saved it.
J.C. Jackson deal looking like an absolute steal right now because
Yeah.
of what Xavier Howard just did to the cornerback.
I think him and Xavier Howard are like the same player. To be honest with you, I think they're just ball hawks.
Xavier Howard
know
should
if
not be
really-
making $5 million more
Yeah.
than Jalen Ramsey.
Well, you
Yeah.
already know Ramsey's going to be asking soon for that.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. Diggs. The
Yeah.
second that graphic came out and it was like all the paid receivers and then Diggs at 14. The next morning, Diggs has a 4 for 102.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
was
weird.
good.
It's like Buffalo.
What do we
Though. They're
got
not
here?
messing around. Buffalo. They're
Oh,
not
the
messing
Giants
around.
walked it off today. I don't know how long ago that was. I don't know if that just
I
happened.
saw. Yeah, Joey Bart
Extras,
went
they were in
today to
extras.
bomb.
Who is that chugging
Yeah.
around third?
Rough.
Oh,
Rough, yeah. I could just tell off topic. I could just tell Scherzer tonight. It's not the dominant Scherzer,
Off.
but I still think he's gonna bear down and give us like 7 innings here.
oh, he is just—he's locked in right now, but he
He's-
just doesn't have his best stuff
he's
because it's open
he's
day.
missing
Yeah.
occasional pitches.
I feel like
but
you gave
I'm
it
not.
to Washington. I think he's probably like a little like playing against his
forgot
Washington
about
in
that.
Washington again. I
You
don't know if
can
he's
tell
pitched
he's
there
juiced
since.
up right now. He's missing
Yeah.
a few pitches, but
Opening
I still
start.
just I feel
paid.
comfortable. Like Scherzer's
This
gonna I like
sucks. Out
he's gonna bear
probability,
down here.
It's a 1-1 count. This guy's got an 81.64 chance of getting out. Now let's see what it is
It's-
after it goes to 2-1 here.
That's what they have up.
82.2.
It's like MLB.
It went
on the
up.
bottom.
Probably.
How did it go up? He threw him a ball. Oh, out probability. This is just
They
a
have.
load
They
of-
have. I'm gonna have to turn this in.
It's just
Yeah,
small.
turn
It's small in the
awesome.
bottom right, but it looks like
Oh,
you're
jeez.
watching
It's like
everything.
Nickelodeon.
Every graphic, every like scoreboard is an Apple. Like it looks like it was made from Apple. Like it all looks like an iPhone. Like everything that they're showing.
Gotcha.
But oh gee, yeah. So Scherzer's missing a few, but there's still something about him.
Whoa.
Like he I feel like he's just confident. Like he's gonna bear down and give you
Yeah.
7 innings, even if he doesn't have his good stuff, which is like what all you can ask.
Oh, look at
for.
that guy. He's got the Washington jersey. Cracks
He's a-
flying, grabbing that foul ball, man.
That's a big
Oh,
man.
You got to pull
the
those
tank?
up.
That's 3. Come on, give us what? Yeah, that's 3. All
It's
right,
like a young tank.
3-3
Young-
end of 4.
Young Tank.
Nice pitch.
Mets
Young
offense.
Tank had
Let's
it.
keep it rolling
Wasn't
here,
having
man.
it.
Young tank, come on.
Young Tank. The lights aren't working. It's just the Mets curse Apple TV everything. Tank's losing his
great.
mind.
I'm so happy the Yankees won today, man. Len, what do we expect from Sevy tomorrow?
Oh.
Because we do have a pretty tired bullpen already after game 1. So story of the Yankees.
I think if we go down early tomorrow, you might see a total punt by
Yeah,
tomorrow
tomorrow's
with the
gonna be
guys, which I wouldn't blame him because Montgomery's not going to give you that much versus Sox. But I think probably 4 innings, maybe 5 of probably another 3 runs, 4.
I'll take that. As long as I see
tomorrow too. I think
good stuff, hitting the zone.
I think tomorrow we might see the either tomorrow or Sunday. I think we might see the heavy duty outfield with Hicks sitting.
Yeah, Hicks sucks, dude. Hicks and Gallo suck.
I think you know what? I think they'll go Torres tomorrow because Pavetta's not that bad versus righties, but Houck is with the slider. So I think they'll go the heavy duty tomorrow, and then they'll go Torres will probably sit on Sunday night. But I kind of like what he's done. You know, Torres, he's got to earn that spot again.
Torres gotta earn
he didn't have what he probably would have liked. I thought that first pitch he really could have done some damage with. But he did get his
Rizzo's
job done. So
dude. To
yeah, I don't know if he's a very good chance he might not play tomorrow. He did finish out the
Yeah.
game, but I thought right off the bat, I thought he broke his hand.
I thought his wrist was
The way it
definitely broken.
sounded, I thought he broke his hand. I'm like, shit, we're gonna probably need the trade for just get somebody because we obviously.
Well, I mean, we immediately went to Greg Bird.
Greg
went yard
Bird.
today. Greg
Who
Bird
went
went
yard
yard today.
today,
First AB back bomb. It's just inevitable though
Bird
that he's gonna
playing
play
first
at some point. At some point, he'll be on the team.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw that Gary bat flip now. Damn. It did look like he got it, though. It definitely did look like he got it. I'm on Twitter, and my whole feed is everybody shitting on Apple TV. Like, people are...
Yeah,
I saw
see it.
KFC tweeted, he's like, He's like, I don't even know.
Puts the
He's
shit
like,
on it too.
he goes, this sounds silly, but like, I don't even care about the outcome of this game. This is the Apple TV debacle. Like, it's brutal. The broadcast is brutal right now.
Oh yeah, Sanchez, tough flip, dude. My God. Oh,
I don't
Let
hate.
it fly.
look at Kirby over at first.
I like the Twins this year. They're pitching suspect, but I think they can score a lot of runs. They obviously lost today, but
I mean, so back to
Yeah.
Judge. I mean, if we lose Judge, like, Correa might be a free agent again, or
Yeah.
Trey Turner.
And then-
so if they
well, if
and-
you're dealing
Dude,
Volpe for
Let's
Soto,
talk about JD. Thank you. Let's talk about something here. Judge is gone. That's Correa's money now. Now that
yeah,
Judge is
I
gone.
think I think if Judge is
Volpe,
gone, they need to go get somebody.
Gonzalez,
They'd have to get
Schmidt,
someone big.
Garcia, Gallo. We'll extend Gallo a little 2 or 3 years for Washington. You can have your fun with him. Couple nice highlights. Send him Greg Bird. Now we have the luxury of Bird.
the farm, send it all.
Send the whole thing for Soto. Imagine adding Correa and Soto for the loss of Judge.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I hope they don't
That's-
lose him though. I don't want to lose Aaron Judge.
See ya. You're gone. After what I discovered tonight, the possibilities, you're gone.
Yeah, but
Uh.
would we pay Soto? There's like if there's still a budget, even though because we don't know the
Definitely a
deal.
pipe
What could have not gotten this done was that they didn't want to give Judge 30 now, and maybe he wanted the 30 now. I don't know if that.
yeah.
doesn't
Was
seem
it
like that,
the
Yeah.
that that's it?
That's
Was it
part
the
of what I think it
year?
could have been.
The year this year?
Yeah, it
was
could've
that
been,
what killed
but it
it?
seems like it was. He wants to be. I think he's
Nimmo
looking.
and
Even I
Yanks.
saw Carter Roberts was talking. Like, look around you in your own state. He's not even getting paid. Scherzer's 38, and he's not even getting close to that.
Look at
That's
Nimmo's
like even
flying.
30.
Man.
Lindor gets what,
Sorry, big
34? Lindor gets
Lindor,
34.
yeah,
Cole
in
gets
the
36. Stan gets, I think Stan gets about 30, 31, something like that. So I think he thinks he's the best player and wants to be the highest paid player for at least 9-10 years.
I love Buck Showalter. I love him. I love just that.
He doesn't
face.
leave that step.
He's
It's
in that.
just
He's in that. He's got his arm crossed. Yeah, he's just got that
The whole
face
game,
right now.
sunflower seeds,
Dude,
just slamming
Nimmo's-
them. Number
Nimmo-
11
got
on the
hit.
sleeve.
When Pete got hit, his look on his face, I was like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
over.
he was
He
like,
jumped
It's
out.
Vietnam all over again. He's had it.
He's getting flashbacks, dude. I love it.
I
I
was
love
like,
it, man.
this
Bucks
guy
bringing
is
baseball
coming-
back to the Mets here. And just to see a team playing some nice old school, really the way that I like baseball, and I know we all like baseball,
Mhm.
it's fun to
Mhm.
watch, man. Stealing bases, getting aggressive, forcing the other team to make the mistakes. Really good stuff. We're approaching an hour and a half here, so we'll call it a night here on Friday Night Live. Good stuff. Really nice casual one here. We'll be back next Friday. Next Friday, we'll start to have a real feel for these teams, though. Everyone would have pitched through the rotation,
Yep.
would have been through 2 series by then. So
And-
next
and
Friday, a
hopefully
fun
no
one.
injuries.
Always, hopefully no more injuries, but we all know the reality between the Mets and the Yankees. There's going to be one. And
I thought it was
Oh, God, if
Rizzo.
it's-
I thought it was Rizzo
If
today.
it's Judge, oh boy,
if it's Judge,
oh boy.
it's Soto Friday next week.
It's just Judge is going to play just that contract year. Like I think it makes the Yankees better. Him not because it just feels like he's going to stay healthy and hit 40 home runs this year and bat 270.
Yeah.
I know obviously you want to sign him and you want to avoid the distraction, even though he's saying by not negotiating it is avoiding the distraction. It'll be talked about all year, but
Yeah, well,
at
Yeah.
some point it'll die down, and I think
I think-
Judge is just going to
yeah.
rake.
I think by once it gets a couple weeks in, I mean he's still gonna get asked about it. But
Yeah.
I think they say it's
I
not
agree.
a distraction, but sadly it will be because it's New York and you're gonna maybe not you won't show it, but in his back of his head, every day he's like, oh, I'm gonna have to go back and talk. There's nothing right now. We're in the season.
Yeah.
I said this, so we'll see. I also don't know if the deadline is very. I mean, I think if he goes off and Hal says, this is it, I'm done.
Just give him,
Give
the
him
dough.
whatever.
yeah.
What do you want? Let's get it done. But it might
Yeah,
be
if
past
he-
that now. I think Judge might want to test just to see.
If a contract offer comes around that significantly changes things in the middle of the season, it's going to have to be like the big one he's asking for because it also
Mhm.
it also seems like both like camps are like frustrated. Like I think the Yankees are very frustrated in Cashman. I don't know if Cashman, or he did say he'll talk in the season, didn't he today?
Yeah,
When
he
he
said
was
he
speaking.
will, but he doesn't know if it'll go both ways.
He
I don't know.
doesn't
If
know.
basically
I don't
had
know if
that
he'll
whole press
talk in the
conference.
season.
Feels
I
like
don't
he had that
know.
whole press conference
Yeah.
today to just put Judge in the bad side of it, which I understand.
Yeah,
'cause
he
Yeah.
did.
Cashman's also fighting for his job. It's becoming evident now that
Yeah.
Cashman has a feel that he's fighting for his job. So he kind of just went out there to put Judge in the spot where, well, we gave him this contract. How often does the GM come out and tell him the contract details that were offered
It's
to a
not
guy
very
who
often
didn't take the contract?
either. He also said, I mean, it is. You didn't really have to say. I didn't really like him saying it, but probably anyways, it probably would have came out because it's New York. I knew right away that maybe it wasn't a good sign because nothing's ever leaked. It was leaked before the numbers, before they even came on, what the numbers were around. So I think somebody was doing it, saying, this is on Judge. We're giving him the fair deal, and I don't blame the Yankees for not giving him 10 years at 3+ right now.
Yeah,
Marte down the line.
I don't know if I would do that right now, not seeing another year. If
that's amazing because his RBI probability was only 42%.
That's so. It changes every pitch. It's like in MLB The Show when you're up 1-0 in the win probability. It's 90-10. It's 90-10 in the first inning. Come on, there's we all know there's 15 runs scored in MLB The Show games at minimum.
All right, let's wrap it here.
Yeah,
Marte, RBI doubled on the line. Mets look good. 4-3 Mets. Like I said before, next Friday, we'll have a lot more to talk about, a lot more positive and negative, because one of these teams is likely going to be under 500, or both of them will look great and we'll be planning the parade. We just won't know what colors for yet because they're going to be playing each other.
The next time we'll be here, the Mets will have played 3 games in Philly. It could be ugly. It could be ugly.
I love
the Mets. The thing is, I think the Mets can score with Philly, which is what gives you confidence, but Taijuan Walker going that first game in Philly is going to be rough. Then you have McGill, love McGill, and then you have Scherzer, and love Scherzer, obviously. But if you get the Scherzer from tonight, he'll get tagged for a few runs, but he'll keep him in the game. But Philly today, Schwarber first at bat, that was bomb.
Yeah, their lineup's good. But next week, so we'll have Yankees will have gone through Toronto and Boston. We'll see where they stand. So 2 very important division series, and then they'll be into Baltimore by the time we start talking next Friday. Thanks for tuning in today. Make sure to subscribe, like it. We'll be back next Friday. Keep checking out the Instagram. Follow us on TikTok, and enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy a weekend of baseball and good weather.
Enjoy the games.
See ya.